The adjective in French. Can you remember a time where you were studying a complex grammar rule? In whatever language, it doesn't matter, and you were struggling, literally struggling, to simply grasp the overall meaning of the goddamn rule, and you were that close to lose it over the lack of power a human being has actually in the course of a lifetime. Well, this happens, but let me tell you this, it doesn't have to be that way this time around. If you don't understand what's about to unfold right now, if you don't understand a complex grammar rule, that means that it's the teacher's fault, not yours. So you can pat yourself on the back, make yourself a pineapple sandwich, and plant a crazy straw in it, and kick back on your giant flamingo buoy while we cover the topic of adjectives in French. And I'll try my very best to explain. Are you ready? Let's get this party started. An adjective agrees in gender and number with the word it is wedded to in French. Most of the time, that means that most of the time, you want to add E to the masculine form of an adjective to make it feminine. This is the simple thing to remember from this lesson, the minimum that you can remember from this lesson. If you want to form an adjective in the feminine form, you're going to add E. And feminine plural, ES. This is the super minimalist way of seeing things. Now, of course, there are exceptions. And now that you can see all these different endings that change differently, you might think, Geethan, have you completely lost your mind? Are we going to cover so many endings today? And to that I would answer, oh, you bet we are, but we're going to do this quick, very quick. As you can see, attentif, attentive, has an ending with F, it turns into VE. Attentif, attentive. Same with the plural forms. You're going to have an S and an S, that's all. Merveilleux becomes merveilleuse. So whenever you come across an adjective that ends with an F like this, it's most likely going to have the feminine equivalent with a VE. Same with an X here. Most likely is going to turn into SE. Not always. It's the French language, the language of exceptions. But it's very likely there will be that ending in the feminine form. Ravageur becomes ravageuse, means destructive. Ravageur. It also means very seducing. Un sourire ravageur. A smile. That wouldn't be destructive here. There would be enchanteur. It would be ravishing. Mignon, which means cute, and it's a great word in French. Did you know that mignon meant cute? Very cool. Mignon, it sounds good. Mignon becomes mignonne. We add N and E. Gras, fat, becomes grasse, fat. Fat food is good. In moderation. Long becomes longue. Magique doesn't change. Magic stays magic. Ponctuel, punctual becomes ponctuelle. Cher becomes cher avec un accent grave and added E, which means expensive, pricey. We have public, public becomes public. Same pronunciation, but the ending is different. Animateur, which means a host, and on TV you have, for example, an animateur à la télévision. A TV host becomes animatrice, the same ending as acteur, actrice, which is a word, not an adjective, which means an actor, an actress. Then we have gentil, kind, becomes gentille, gentille, adding LE here, and complet, probably guessed that one. Complet, it's complete. We have E with an accent grave, TE, for the feminine form, and coquet, which means elegant, stylish, becomes coquette, coquette. Okay, so I wouldn't say you have to study these by heart now, but just reading them and following along will be hugely helpful because next time you come across or you stumble upon an adjective in French, if that question arises in your head, that question pops, what ending is it going to be in the feminine form? Well, then I will have done a part of my job. I mean, most of my job is to have you question whether what you're doing is right or wrong in grammar, in French grammar, so that you can check whether it is right or wrong. So hopefully this video will do that for adjectives in French. And let us not forget the exceptions. The first one is easy, and you might think the second one is easy too, but really it isn't. So let's cover the first one, the irregular forms. We have adjectives in French that change form in the feminine form, and it doesn't really make sense the way they make the feminine form. Blanc becomes blanche. So this is the kind of adjectives that we have to study. Doux becomes douce, which means soft. Sec, dry, becomes sèche. And those belongs to the group that you will have to study on the side, regardless of those rules that we covered previously. And then irregular forms number 2. You need to know that some adjectives in French change their masculine form before a vowel or an aspirated H. In other words, a mute H, like the adjective nu, like the adjective old, like the adjective beautiful. And those are a bit tricky because they change form a bit more than usual. Thankfully, there aren't millions, and most of the time, the ones are very important, you will master them quite quickly if you just pay attention now to what I'm about to say now. Here we have singular forms. 2 in the masculine, remember, like ce and cette. That's a rule that we covered in a previous video. Sometimes we have ce in front of masculine word. Sometimes we have cette in front of a masculine word. And that all depends on the vowel that starts in the word that starts right after that. So the new robot becomes le nouveau robot. Here we have that ending nouveau. So far it makes sense. But then when the word that follows starts with a vowel or an aspirated H, we have nouvelle. So it is still masculine. It is still in the singular form, but it's nouvelle. It's another ending. The new revolution becomes la nouvelle. And here is the feminine singular. La nouvelle, it's another ending. The plural forms are a bit predictable in comparison because the new robots becomes les nouveaux robots, and here we just added an X after EAU, and is how we form the plural. The plural of EAU endings regardless. And the new revolutions becomes les nouvelles révolutions, same as the feminine form with an S. So this is very predictable. So really here what we have to remember is that the masculine form of those kind of adjectives is going to change if the word that follows the adjective starts with a vowel or an aspirated H, or if it is in the feminine form. And well, that sounded a bit tedious admittedly, but this is all there is to know. That's really a bit less easy. The rest is really a question of asking yourself whenever you come across an adjective in French, does it match one of those endings? And then it can be a game, and then you can pretend that it is fun, and over time it will become fun. Fake it till you make it, I would say. And now that you're fully equipped to complete the exercise, one or two things is going to happen. I can predict the future. You're either going to do it by clicking the link below the video, or you're not going to do it. Bye for now.